Oh man.
Rock crawling.
Well, is that it? That's it. We're started.
Oh, we started?
Yep.
Oh, welcome back to
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the other episode.
So above Nitro Ride.
Nitro Ride.
We're talking about school today.
Yeah, we're going to school.
We're going to school. It is 8 a.m. on a Saturday.
Wow. Well, I guess that we shit the bed there, but that's
Oh no,
the
I think it's important because this way we don't have to deal with school traffic.
Oh, that's true. Oh yeah, this is a win. And
yeah, you don't want to do this on a weekday.
yeah, that's a good point. And plus, like, I don't know, it's kind of thematically appropriate. Like, we're going when
You don't want to.
you don't want to, yeah, and you
Yeah.
don't really have to. And
Yeah.
and that's school, baby.
Oh man, that's school, baby. Getting up and putting my backpack on and my clothes on this morning and walking up the hill and
Man.
it's where I grew up.
Yeah.
You know, right around the corner, and so
Right.
it's just so. I realize there's all these little things in me that go, I don't want to go to school.
Yeah.
and my adult life really it revolves around that when it comes to like doing shit in the morning.
Right.
And
like you still catch that feeling in the morning?
yeah, I go,
It's like how
like
it's changed.
God. Well, it's just either like God, I have to go to school, and that's kind of like I'm up early. This isn't fun.
Did you have parents wherein, or who, if you were like, I just don't want to go to school today, they would hook you
Yeah,
up?
it really depended, and
Okay.
it was always on my mom because my dad got up and was gone by 6:30 every morning.
Oh, I see.
Talk about going to fucking school.
Fuck, he had to
did
go
that,
to school.
He did that for 28 years, and he's still doing it. He's getting up at fucking early times, but then he would have to drive all the way to Hopland. Oh man,
God.
so just morning routine,
Falling
man.
asleep in the wheel.
But no, it'd be like, Mom, I don't want to go today. And
Yeah.
she'd go, oh, no, you're going. Then I'd go, and after a while, I realized that I could just call the nurse. I would just go to the nurse's office and just keep complaining that I didn't feel good.
And then eventually something would happen.
And eventually, my mom's be like, okay, like I'm tired of this. Like they think. They think that you're like addicted to Advil and you're asking for Advil all the time. And like, oh, is it fire?
Or it's a little
No, it's
prescribed
obvious,
to
yes.
burn.
Dude, did you hear and or see the lightning last night at 1 o'clock in the morning?
No, there was lightning.
1:30. Fucking it
shit.
rained for like 30 seconds, and like I looked out the window and I saw this fucking flash lit up. Everything was so good.
Oh, that's sick.
Well, scary because California.
Oh yeah, fucking goodbye house.
Goodbye house, but nevertheless, it really depended on what my mom was seeing when I asked.
Yeah.
Because my mom perpetually late getting me to school.
Yeah.
Oh my God, just
Really?
never not fucking late.
Oh man.
And that there is like weird resentments about being late places.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm far more punctual
I can see that.
because I just was never to school on time.
Well, it's definitely worse because there's some places, I don't know, there's some instances in life wherein it's like not bad to show up late, like because you missed some shitty thing in the beginning,
Yeah.
or whatever. But school, at least I always felt, was not somewhere I wanted to be showing up late because it just put you, it shined a light on you.
Yeah.
Like when you come into class late, everybody's like, oh, fucking whoop-de-doo.
Some teachers really make a stink about it.
That's so true.
You're really disrupting my class, and I can't believe
Yeah.
you would do this.
Oh, happy you could show up. It's like, dude,
It's like-
I'm fucking 15 years old.
You're right. I'll drive my own car next time.
You're right. My bad. What? My fucking bad?
Yeah. What? I'll try to get my mom to do it,
Yeah.
but at the same, it's funny because like she was just feeding the horses. It's not like she was like bored or like couldn't get up. She's like, no, I had this whole morning routine that unfortunately is on top of when my kid goes to school. And those are also where like there's resentments with me and my brother where we feel like our mom just has this inclination to deal with the horse stuff it's like, just
Or-
deal with it afterwards.
Like,
Like I'm getting in trouble from my teachers because I'm not getting to school on time.
This is
isn't
impacting
time.
my shit.
Yeah, and we would always be frustrated. Or like the same thing with after school.
Yeah.
I'd be waiting to get picked up.
Oh God.
And it'd be fucking raining
Oh.
or something. They'd be like, Mom, where the fuck are you? Oh, I'm just leaving now, 20 more minutes. I'm like, you fucker! Now I gotta go home, and it's 5:30, and I gotta do homework.
Fucking homework, dude.
And I wake up, and my shoes are still fucking wet from waiting in the rain.
Dipping your feet into fucking wet shoes in the morning.
So
It's
silly.
the fact that school's like in the winter and fall. I always forget that. Like it was fucking raining, and cold all the time.
Well, especially where
depressing
the
environment.
high school is, the wind just channels through the canyon, and as soon as it's at the
That's so
afternoon,
true.
someone turns the AC on high.
Yeah, fuck, that's true. And you graduated on time from UConn?
I graduated on time, and you missed the exit.
No. Are we going to? Fuck.
I'm just.
Are we
kidding.
going there though?
We need fucking coffee.
Yeah, we could do drive-through.
I was gonna say let's go through all the different schools.
Oh, that would be a good idea. I was thinking that I could show you where I like got on the bus to come through.
Perfect. Because you picked me up where I got on the bus.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And then plus we could get a coffee in the drive-through, and then we don't have to leave our boy.
Oh, our youngest son.
Yeah, Nitro Ride is our youngest son.
It is.
Yeah, I was so awful at school.
Oh man.
I literally ditched class like 3 days a week out of the 5 days that we showed up. And
Nice. Rebel.
I would like wait for the opportune moment. It's so easy to ditch school. Like I would just show up and then leave, and Tim would be at work, and depending on how old I was, Mom would be at work, and I'd just come home and play video games. That's all I wanted to do. That's all I ever wanted to do.
What else is there?
Play video games. It's so true.
There's nothing
It's
else.
the only thing that you have power over. When you're young.
Until your parents get mad at you for ditching school and they take your power cord.
That's true.
You
Oh
go,
yeah, your controller.
Yeah.
My controller would be taken. And so when I was working my first job when I was like 15, teaching in space, when I earned enough money to buy a controller, I bought one and hid it. And then when my mom would take the controller away, I would just fucking
There you go.
look it up.
That's the way.
Yeah.
Well, all the things you do to negate your parents' stupid attempt at punishing you. I'm taking this. I'm like, bitch, this
You don't
AV
even know.
cord works. Yeah, you don't even
I
know.
don't even fucking know.
That's when I learned that Nintendo hasn't changed their AV cord since fucking the Wii.
Oh, really?
Or since the fucking Super Nintendo. They all have the same exact
Oh my
AV
God.
cord. My mom would always try to take it. I just feel like we have more of these.
Oh man.
It's funny.
They have no idea though.
Yeah, they had no idea because I would put it all back before they got home.
That's my school.
I always knew what the presents were.
No.
Oh, this is fine. This is just more time to talk.
You're right.
This is we're gonna be late to
So
school,
I'll be
honey.
around. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, I would wake up in the morning and walk to the bus. What a fucking miserable way to start your day too. Like, get
Rain,
up. I feel
sleet,
like-
or shine.
Yeah, I also took a shower every morning, which is crazy looking back on it. But that's
I never did that.
The reasoning behind it was like, oh God, please don't. I think somebody called me smelly at some point when I was young, and I was like, never again.
No one ever called me smelly.
Well,
I was never a smelly or perspirant boy.
I sweat a lot.
I'm just not. I hardly sweat. I'll be fucking out in the sun,
Just
digging
cooking.
a hole, and I am not a sweaty man.
Dude, I got stinky fast. This car smells like so bad. I was digging around in the back seat trying to clear space for you, and I was like,
It smells like your
"Fuck."
balls in
It
here.
smells like my fucking nutsack.
Oh, but you know what does stink?
What?
When you have swimming in school, and
Oh, yeah.
and you're like me, and you just you have a plastic bag in your gym locker
Uh-huh.
that you throw all your socks
no.
into and
Yep.
your wet underwear.
Yep.
And that goes on for a month.
Yeah, she's got
Because
this,
you,
like-
you go, man, okay, if I don't take this home, I don't have any socks or underwear. and there's just this big, wet, damp, half chlorinated boy ball.
So bad at like organizing your shit
Oh,
when you're young.
Man.
Like,
so gross.
No efficiency. There's no system at play.
Dude,
like, it's just like adapting 24/7.
I remember I had a big ball of wet clothes in this Walmart bag.
No.
And
No.
and I was going to my locker. I was taking it from one locker to the other. From the gym locker to my locker.
Okay.
And I fucking dropped it, and it popped open in the locker bay.
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure the chlorine was eating away at the plastic. And it all just fucking... Right in the rush hour traffic. And it cleared a locker bay, dude.
Oh,
like,
no.
Like, fuck!
What are you fucking doing, Mitchell?
Dude, what the fuck is that? So bad.
Oh, that's so bad. Oh, there's been so many embarrassing moments. One time, because you know how we would have like the football games, and then a lot of times the kids would like hang out, not like kind of behind the bleachers, you know, behind the whole stadium, and that's where all the cool kids were. And I had this fat crush on this girl.
Korsh.
Her name started with we can call her Korsh, actually.
Korsh.
Her name was Korsh.
She got a Korsh on Korsh.
Mm-hmm. I had a fat Korsh.
Rockin' Korsh.
I had a fat Korsh on Korsh. And she dated, I don't think she ever knew, but she might have known about it. She's really fucking smart. But she started dating my friend, and they were like, you know, Titanicing, where you got the dude behind holding the girl's holding my Korsh's waist.
You wish you had Jesse's girl.
And yeah, dude.
Crying, yeah, dude.
And I came up to them and I was trying to be cool about it, but I was all broken hearted. I was like, "What's up, guys?" And like my voice hella cracked hard as fuck. And then they laughed about how my voice cracked.
Oh, ridicule.
And then I tried to say something else, but I fucked it up. And then I threw up in a trash can. Hello. You know what you want?
No, hang on.
Can you give us just a second? Sorry about that.
Of course, just let me know when you're ready.
Cool, we'll do. Thank you.
I need something that's not a nitro cold brew, because that's too much.
Yeah.
So sorry, riders.
Yeah.
I think things have changed.
We're fake.
We are fucking fake. Get Americano, fucking half Americano with a caramel drizzle.
Whoa.
I know.
Slow down.
I think I'm just gonna do a brewed hot coffee.
Oh yeah.
Well, I want a large iced coffee, because I want to just a large iced coffee.
A large iced coffee.
And a fucking. Are we getting food here?
It might be easier.
And I'll get a bacon, egg, sausage.
Okay, bacon, egg, and sausage.
Because it's only 650 calories.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch my figure.
Okay, I need you to yell your order because I forgot it already.
Okay, we're ready to order.
Perfect. What can I get started for you?
Can I get a medium roast, or actually, can I just get a large iced coffee or a venti iced coffee with no sugar?
A venti iced coffee. Anything else?
Yeah. Can I get a bacon, sausage, and egg breakfast burrito?
Anything else?
That's gonna do it.
No, there's more.
Okay, yeah. There's one more. Sorry.
Sorry, there's a little bit more than that.
No, there's
can
not.
I do a white chocolate mocha and a bacon and Gouda sandwich?
And what size is the mocha?
A medium.
Is that gonna be hot or ice?
It's fucking grande, Todd.
Hot, yeah.
And then you wanted a
Fuck
bacon
you.
Gouda sandwich?
Yes, please.
Anything else?
No, that'll be it.
Perfect. Your total's gonna come out to $18.40 if everything looks correct on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, can you see it?
No.
I'm so sorry. It's a venti iced coffee, no classic, a bacon sausage egg wrap, and then a grande white mocha with the bacon Gouda sandwich.
Perfect.
All right, perfect. That total's gonna come out to $18.40 at the window. Thank you.
Thank you. I say inch, fucking 2 inches. Try to get away from the screen. But yeah, many a memory behind the fucking football stadium.
Oh man.
Many a kiss.
Many a kiss.
Many a delicate kiss.
I never really kissed back there.
No?
No.
Did you ever go to the football games?
No, oh man, you might want to roll the window for this one. So I have one like crowning achievement as like a senior, junior, like time. No, it's a senior. And it was like a year where we all had a girlfriend or a boyfriend in the friend group, and we were it's so funny that it remained this for a long time. But we would make out in the H building. It's like, you know where the quad is?
Yeah.
And then there's like, I think they called it Narnia for a while.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm familiar.
So there's the locker bays that were all blocked off. But when we were there, they were where our lockers were.
Okay.
And we called them the orgy lockers because everybody'd be making out in the locker bay.
Yep. Okay.
And
like facing the quad, or
like facing
away from the quad?
Exactly where Narnia is.
Okay.
Where all the scene girls hang out. Oh,
Yep.
Remind me, we gotta talk about scene and emo girls.
Oh my god!
Because it's always it's like it is segue into really heavy topics.
Oh yeah.
I like.
Oh yeah.
Just
it is.
as a symbol
for you.
of just for why that is. But so we all had girlfriends and whatever and we dubbed it the orgy lockers. And
hell yeah.
and it stayed that like 8 years later.
Beyond.
Like it was always that to the like, because I had a freshman friend who like upheld the standard of the orgy lockers, and
God
it's
bless
like,
him.
where do we meet
Pass
up?
the torch.
Pass the fucking torch.
Pass the fucking
And
torch.
my little brother, he's 8 years younger than me, he goes to high school, and there it is. He hears about it. So I was like, wow.
I'm gonna get my shit diddled over there someday.
Diddlers. Oh, I got a beach in the locker bay.
You did?
that was at the night of a dance. And we're like,
of course.
We're like, let's go.
Oh
over
my
here.
god, dances are just so ridiculous. Like,
Oh man, dude.
whose idea?
Throw a cyclone on for children.
It's like they know what's gonna happen. These little fucking kids are gonna find a way.
It's like letting them out into the yard.
Yeah, it is. So it is. And then they had like a little outdoor space, and you could be dance with a girl and be like, "Hey, let's go outside for a second because it gets really hot in here." And you just make out against the wall.
Well, you've been rubbing fronts.
Yeah, dude, you just been like creaming in your pants for like 2 hours
Dude,
straight.
I remember.
Boner rubbing against some poor girl's butt cheek.
Dude, I remember. That's literally, and then you're like, you get home and your balls hurt so bad.
You're so fucked up.
You're so bad,
Oh
dude.
god, you're just like.
I remember just like trying
man.
to get in the shower after this dance, and like just lifting my leg up over the lip of the shower was hard. I was so wounded. So wounded.
Oh god.
God, so bad. But yeah, dude, school.
Oh man.
Fucking school was so. I feel like adults don't realize how aware kids are about how bad school is.
So true.
Maybe it's just like because we have like the extra internet aspect of school, but I don't know. Like I'm just like being able to talk amongst ourselves about school.
Yes.
I wish that Casey was on this podcast with us.
Oh really?
Because he
was a big part of your school days.
Well, not really, because he's 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that.
and he was homeschooled for a while because he just couldn't handle school. Like it wasn't going to work for him. Him and most of my cousins.
Yeah.
Really just couldn't do school. Like and that's. I don't know if it's just like the aspect of like having this like rigorous structure thing, but they did like performances and all kinds of stuff. They knew when to get on the train.
When to do it.
Yeah, when to do it. And that I think that's something that school does is it really lumps everybody in together. And what if your most productive time is at night?
Oh, I see.
You know, and I knew so many kids that like your brain just isn't going to work at 7:30 in the morning. And luckily in high school, for me, when I started, there was 0 period or 8th period. You could do, you can come a class early or you could come a class late.
Okay. And so that was like...
You sign up for 0 period.
And that means that you get out
earlier?
earlier?
It means you get out earlier.
Okay.
Because you leave at 7th period, not 8th.
Okay. When did you have to get to school for that? Do you remember?
7:30.
Okay.
And then everyone that didn't would get there at 8:30.
Oh, yeah.
Or like
yeah. 8 something.
8:16 and a quarter.
15 or some bullshit.
Between 5-minute passing.
Yeah.
You got 5 minutes.
It's kind of fucking militaristic
to fucking
regimen.
lug your goddamn heavy ass books around. I remember my back just being hurting all the time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't even use my fucking locker.
Oh yeah, I forgot my copy.
I wasn't.
Every year.
I think I purposefully got bad grades to have less homework, to have less smart classes because the books weren't there.
Yeah, there's like a lot of shit looking back on it. It's surprising that I was able to stick to that schedule for so long. Like I never ate anything good for me. You know, and nowadays if I don't like eat right, there's no way I'm gonna be able to wake up early and like attend class for 7 hours.
No, you gotta be like
able to retain anything.
This is why I was always glad that the high school had a coffee machine.
Oh yeah.
When I showed up, like it was just for then they got rid of it. Yeah. Because like all this, and that's so funny. Remember when they were talking about, oh well, kids need to be healthier. We got to get kids healthier. Then you make them all go to fucking school and super early in the morning and have to like, like deal with
just like whatever slop they can throw in the fucking cafeteria.
Well, then they give you the best thing you can get is a cinnamon roll.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you have kids spiking and crashing.
Yep.
It's like,
seriously.
Yeah, it's
like,
they always sold cinnamon rolls.
Yeah, and like falling asleep in class was such a big problem. It's like, no shit, we're kids.
Yeah.
And so if any of us have any control over when we fall asleep, we're gonna fall asleep late as fucking shit. And you guys are making us wake up early as shit, and we're not being fed very well. But of course.
Not to say that doesn't help structure people.
Yes.
And give people who might not have a regiment.
Yeah, and education systems are seriously underfunded, and there's all kinds of ideal ways to navigate that shit, but money's not there. The money and the interest isn't there. Evidently.
Yeah. Well, no, I think the interest is there.
That you're probably right.
I feel like if there's anything that, as an American taxpayer, you hope that your fucking schools are getting taken care of.
Yeah.
Because if they're not, what is that even? What like? It's gonna be the rest of workers. The people taking over the world are gonna be groggy and pissed off.
Yeah.
I'll get yours.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're such a good.
Yeah,
boy.
I know.
You're so good.
Hey, I'm not paying for gas. That's all I'm saying.
You really did. Yeah, you really did pick something up from school, huh?
Yeah.
When I was in what elementary school did you go to?
I went to Calpella, and then I went to Redwood Valley.
School right there. Were you ever a Waldorf kid?
Yes.
You were.
Not the one.
You little.
Not.
Fucking...
I'll explain. So it's not the one across from Calpella. The one in the River Oak Charter School, which is considered the Waldorf variety.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate it.
I remember like making bread in Waldorf.
Booger aioli, dude.
Yeah, booger aioli bread.
Straight up booger aioli.
Thank you. Oh my god, I can't straighten my fucking arms.
Oh.
Pain.
Hello, Pain, my old friend.
Hello, Pain, my old friend. Ooh. There you go. There you go, dude.
And there you are, brother. This is yours.
Wow.
Fucking.
Oh.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, thank you. Oh my god. Oh my god. Take my life. Just take my
Allah.
life. Oh, may Allah ignore you the way you have ignored me. I texted that to Alice the other day. I'll show you where I would go. I'll just fucking take this man's life. Think I'm scared?
We can hope you can.
I went to fucking Oak Man. Well, first I went to Grace Hudson, and then they. What are you doing, lady? And then they like kicked me out because I couldn't speak Spanish, and oh my god, this is hell. But look at that boy though. He wants out. He wants out. Lady, drive forward. Ah, this sucks.
Girls just want to have fun, Todd.
Girls just want to have fun. Oh, girl.
That's you're going to have to pay for that.
I know we're gonna get fucking copyright claimed.
What a song to get copyright claimed.
I went to Grace Hudson and I got kicked out. I think it was I didn't speak Spanish and I lived far away.
Yeah.
And so then I had to. And Grace Hudson was like a good school, and that's when I was a good kid. I met Andre there, and then I probably started being a quote-unquote bad kid, but also was figuring out who I was a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to... They really improved the road here. Used to suck ass.
Well...
Especially when I was skating. What the fuck?
Took them long enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can ever say.
This is where I went.
Oh.
I went here. We would always climb around on the roof. Like late at night on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
We'd get up to stuff.
I went through a phase of, after I was out of high school, to dominate the schools by climbing all over their roofs.
Exactly. Own them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did that. I've done that for all the fucking schools at this point. But I'd fucking get picked up at the bus right here at an elementary school for high school, and it was all degraded. And then I remember when I was in middle school, sometimes I would like take the MTA home.
Really?
Yeah, my mom would give me a bunch of like ones, and I would pay for the MTA to get home because I think that the bus didn't come here or something.
Mm-hmm. Too close to the school? Or?
Yeah, dude. Getting to school was always a fucking pain in the ass for me.
Yeah, I feel that.
And I also remember I was dating this girl one time. The girl that I cheated on.
Nice.
I was a bad boy. And I skated from here to school, and I like picked her flowers along the way, and dropped them off. Like she lived in a fucking shed basically, like outside of her parents' house, and I would like drop them off at her doorstep. That was also a thing when we were young. We would just like go everywhere all the time, just like walk the whole town, without a concern in the world.
Yeah.
And then you start driving, and it's like, God, who the fuck was I? Why did I ever walk anywhere?
Because it's nice.
It is nice.
But,
Yummy.
well, I'm glad that you don't have to go to school anymore.
Isn't it great that we don't have to go to school anymore?
Ugh.
Julian paid fucking, easy paid. Like, he has like $25,000 in student loans. That's on the low end for a lot of people.
Oh, well, I was watching Joe Rogan talk about what do you think the school loan debt is? What do you think it is? Through the entire United States.
Oh, God. $200 billion.
Nah, it's like 1 point something trillion.
Oh, my God.
Because Reggie Watts was like, what if we just had some rich philanthropist pay off all student debt?
We can't.
We can't. There's not that much money.
Yeah.
It's student debt's crazy. That's why I didn't go to college. I was like, I need to make sure that I am doing this because it's expensive. I don't do this for the reason that you should go. Because I ought to go isn't a good reason.
Yeah. Because it's what you do.
Well, that was so push.
I mean, that's what high school is. It's not really preparing you for life, preparing you for being an adult, which you will legally be by the time that you leave high school.
Yeah, maybe before.
Yeah, true. It is instead preparation for more school.
Yep.
And I think, I don't even know if most people go to college.
I think most people think they should.
I think so too. But
I know it's a sign of guilt in a lot of people. I didn't go to college.
Fuck. I need to get good grades and a high score on the SAT so I can go to... Did you ever take the SAT?
Probably. I don't remember. It's not important.
I don't think I did.
I think I did. I just, it's not a big deal. Took a lot of STAR tests.
Oh, yeah, I remember
fucking STAR tests, dude.
Big ass packet of like 300 fucking questions.
Yeehaw.
God. God, school, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? I did that shit for 12 years. I've retained nothing. I remember nothing.
I remember Of Mice and Men
Oh, yeah.
and Stress.
Lenny. I remember a lot of Stress. I remember some books I read.
I remember some awkward boners. I remember some weird kids. So, dude, and that's the other thing, like, just like everyone's allowed to go to school. And that's like, I mean, I've talked about it before, but just like encountering bullies and just trying to navigate social structures. It's really like I was saying earlier, it's like being thrown out into the yard.
Yeah.
And just figure it out, kids.
Yep.
And there's some kids. There is some bigger kids than you out there. You go, how are you in my grade?
Yeah.
How many years were you held back? Because like the kid that bullied me was like double my size.
Oh God.
Some strong genes, some early miracle grow.
I got fucking bullied by this like hick. Remember the hick wall?
Mm-hmm.
That was your time too, yeah. Ooh-wee. Oh my God, this is what my body needed. A little food, a little coffee. Oh, good morning. And then I went to Pomalita after Oak Manor.
Never went to Pomalita.
This is where we're going right now. Everyone always talks about like the stabbing at Pomalita that allegedly happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, it's got like this like shitty reputation. But
it's a nice school.
It's a nice school. It wasn't too bad. I just felt like
good gym.
Yeah, it did have a great gym. I fucking wrestled in middle school.
Ooh.
Yeah. Wrestling.
Wrestling.
I remember trying to skate down this hill.
Oh, dude.
Getting fucking
Cypress Avenue.
Just getting fucked. It's like the worst road.
Oh yeah. Now I just need to eat this burrito.
Yeah, dude, do your thing. I fucking remember running the mile and how they like posted your times, and I finally got a time that was ahead of like a few people. It felt so good because I was this fat little kid.
Yeet.
Oh fuck, school, man. I'm glad I didn't go to college. I think, because now I'm able to kind of get a job anywhere. For the most part, I could get a gig with like most federal agencies and a lot of different state agencies. Just not a lot of admin stuff because typically that requires a degree.
Oh yeah.
But I feel like a lot of I could be fucking wrong about this, but I feel like a lot of jobs are deviating towards like work experience qualifying, being marking you as qualified instead of a degree, you know?
Yeah.
Like a degree or 2 years of relevant experience.
Yeah,
you know?
I'll take the relevant experience.
Dude, me too.
For one, you get that time with a professional. Or you know, like you like, and that's the whole thing about like infrastructure, and there's just not enough people that are plumbers and electricians and masons and all of that. That is going away.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to find those people.
Yeah, I was reading. No, I was not reading. A Reggie, a friend of mine, told me because he's all about. Whoa, that's new. He's all about like permaculture, sustainable farming, and he told me that the average age of the farmer is like 57 years old, or like might even be in their 60s now.
Yeah.
And that's true with like a lot of traditional trades. It's just fucking not as many people doing that shit.
Well, it's not advertised as something you should do.
It's true. Like trade schools have very poor, at least our experience, you know.
Yeah.
Very poor like outreach programs. Fucking, I didn't know anything. I didn't know about the seas when I was in high school. I didn't know about the Forest Service. There's so much that I didn't know about.
Oh well, there's so much stuff that isn't talked about. I think kind of on purpose, because you don't want to make yourself redundant.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's true.
I mean, I guess that depends on what class you were in, because the teacher only can stick to their own lane, and go like, yeah, well, in my opinion, going to college really helped me, or you know, in my opinion, you know, being a shop teacher, I'd recommend a trade school.
Yeah.
Like I remember being in auto shop the teacher was really like, yeah, man, like if you want to go to a good college for being a mechanic, like Wyotech, like talking about, oh man, just waiting in front of this goddamn school.
Oh, these little redwood trees, been the same size for like 80 fucking years.
Hey, just like my education, they are stunted.
I wish we could take this on the run. We probably could.
We could.
I don't think it'd probably be a bad luck for us to be wandering around a high school.
Well, yeah. You can wander around a different school.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Fucking just waiting at this school I just felt like I was waiting the whole time.
All the time. Yeah.
Like I just feel like I wasted so much time and just suffered a lot of like hardships. And I mean, I guess you're gonna suffer hardships regardless, but it's just like, I guess if you want to put like a broad stroke on school, it just sucked. Like, and I don't know anybody that doesn't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like I have a few friends that kind of really peaked in high school that are like, you know,
that are sad it's over.
Yeah, that are sad that it's over, and like they're always like, oh, I remember you from high school. They always say that, and like, okay, yeah, naturally it's gonna be fucking people that you remember from high school, whatever. But I don't know. I feel like the way that they say it, the cadence, the not intention, but just the way that they say it, it feels like there's like gnarly nostalgia. There's something they really miss there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
that was
high school?
A core representative of the good times.
Yeah. So what was the thing for you when you were in high school? Like for me, it was drama. I loved drama, but I also was such a shitty student.
Yeah.
So bad at being a student that when I was put in a drama class, I was just acting out all the time. I was like, desperate for attention or something.
Right. It gave you a place to do it, and you really used it.
Really took advantage of that. I took a fucking mile.
Hey man, at least you saved it for the place it was appropriate.
That's true.
The nurse's office was my kind of class. I just was in the nurse's office so often because I realized you're not going to peg a kid for being in the nurse's office.
Yeah.
And I would go and sleep off hangovers and all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah.
In the nurse's office. I remember I came back to school wasted.
Oh really?
And by the end of it, I was like talking to the teacher. I'm like, I'm pretty much describing to you that I'm drunk and if I don't feel good, I need to go to the nurse's office.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, let's go to the nurse's office. But I mean, I get art class. Sophomore year, I took art, and I guess I took it freshman year too. I think I took it every year of school, just like PE. I did PE every year. I like PE.
Okay.
It gave me a chance to exert because I had a lot of energy, and when I was in the Waldorf school, that got me pegged as having ADD, and because they sat me away from the other kids, and it was during Thanksgiving. And it's so stupid. I was picking the kernels out of a piece of maize corn. And they're like, oh, well, your kid obviously can't sit still. He has a disease. And they put me in ed classes.
Oh my God.
It was like, wow. And that was towards the end of the Waldorf
experience for you.
Yeah. Well, I remember my mom brought me McDonald's for lunch. And they fucking didn't tell me it was in the lobby.
Oh.
And they threw it away because it was McDonald's.
Oh, really?
Those Waldorfians.
Oh, fuck you, dude. It was probably the coolest shit ever for you.
It was like, thanks, Mom.
What a treat.
Well, it's food. It's like, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
It's not up to you to decide.
Throw away your food.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
But I guess art, and that's really the thing is, sophomore year and freshman year art was awesome. And the teacher was wonderful. Miss Pilar Crooks.
Ooh.
And she was just awesome. She really gave a shit about the arts. She did art history.
That's cool.
She was trying to introduce us to all kinds of new methods and styles and painters. This is before, Instagram.
Right.
This is the only education. This is the first time I'm being introduced to it.
Yeah.
And it was just she taught me about surrealism, and that really fucking helped me deal with my shit.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was able to finally express...
Have, like, some kind of outlet?
Yeah, to have an outlet. Or something that really, like, communicated my feelings and helped me work on my shit. And because I'm coming out of being all weird. Being all crazy.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how to talk about it or what to do.
To do with it.
I mean, besides, like, yeah, this happened, but it's like, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. And plus, you probably didn't even have the tools to communicate.
Exactly. This was one of my first ones.
Yeah.
And the next year, junior year, I'm like so excited to do art. And guess what? That art teacher had to leave because she got a better opportunity, and I don't peg her for that. Please take it.
Yeah.
But
it really sucked for you.
And it really sucked for me, especially because here comes this other teacher who's not skilled in this craft to the same extent.
I see.
Of like drawing and painting.
Yeah.
She's good at ceramics.
Oh.
And we just had a bad rapport. She just didn't uphold the standard to me, and it fucking pissed me off.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I've got better things to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ditch your fucking class because it's after lunch anyway.
Man, I ditched every fucking class. God.
No wonder you're so dumb.
I know, man. Like, very few seeds of intellect got planted in my noggin because I would always leave and go play video games at the house.
Yeah.
And then I'd be all stressed out when I got back because I was waiting for my parents to get home early or something like that.
Well, it's like waiting for the report card to show up.
Oh, God.
Oh, man, waiting for that.
Oh,
those straight Fs to show up. I remember I was in middle school and I had a 0.006.
Oh, God.
I didn't do anything.
I never fucking did my homework.
And you know who graduated on time both places? This guy.
I didn't.
School is a facade.
I sure didn't. I fucking graduated like a year later.
Damn.
I mean, it might have been 2 years later. It's like I finally got in with an agency that had started working for an agency that had a high school program that you had to attend if you didn't have your diploma, and that's the only reason that I have one. I got a GED, like a fucking, I don't know, like in my second semester of my senior year, and I was like, I'm good, I'm fine, and in all reality, I probably could have been. Yeah.
Well, there's a thing that feels good about saying, you know what, I'm gonna get this. And it's like because it's the carrot at the end of the 12-year stick.
Yeah, very, very long.
It's like, stick. God, I didn't do all of this for nothing.
I definitely am pretty bummed. I never got to like walk the stage. I don't know why I give a shit, but I do care about like ceremony. Yeah. And tradition a little bit. And so that's always been like a little bit of a regret for mine, like soft spot for me.
A little ouchie.
Yeah, a little ouchie. But this was a big place for when I was a kid, dude.
I remember when it was back by the brewery.
Oh yeah, I remember that too.
I remember Casey. He was taking dancing class. He was taking a breakdancing class, and he came home one night and he did the worm. And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to do that shit.
You're the coolest fucking person
and
ever.
That was the only time I ever went to space, was to take a breakdancing class long enough to do the worm.
That's sick.
And then I got the fuck out of there. But I mean, all my cousins were really performing arts people. Yeah. And like always, Pumpkin Fest, they're doing dances in the street or whatever, wherever it was, they were doing stuff.
It was South Valley.
South fucking Valley.
Continuation school.
The school next to the fire department.
The school of hard knocks.
I always imagined that the fireman's tower thing there was a guard up there with a gun.
Oh God, like watching
over the delinquent children.
Yeah, that school had a bad reputation, man.
Well, it was all the kids that didn't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
And they realized that, well, minimum standards, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's fucking, I don't know, that's probably what I needed. I would have walked if that was the case for me.
Well, if your counselor would have been able to suggest a fucking better path, if that's the whole thing, it's like, okay,
the counselor program is fucking rough.
Coyote's fucking track record for attendance is awful.
It's terrible.
He doesn't want to be here. How do we help him?
What's going on?
And there's never that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's blame the child for
That's so true.
for this, and it's like we don't even have the tools.
Yeah, I said it before. Like, fuck, if some teacher or anybody asked me like, hey, dude, why don't you show up? Like, why do you leave all the time? What's going on? I think if they gave me some time, like, and they were just a real smart cookie, I probably would have, I don't know, fixed some shit a little bit earlier.
Yeah. Well, it just would have helped you realize what you're feeling.
Exactly.
And I just don't think
I
people
never knew
take
what I was
kids.
feeling.
People don't take kids seriously.
They don't.
And how kids feel about shit.
Yeah.
And it's just as a child, I just remember being so frustrated because I didn't feel like anybody got what I was dealing with ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Except for my peers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why we'd go off and get drunk.
Yep.
That's why I was sneaking tequila all the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's. I mean, I didn't smoke weed, but you know, alcohol at this point is just as bad.
Yeah, really. I didn't have a drink. I didn't smoke until I was like 19, I think, which was just dumb. It probably would have been a better outlet for me than the outlets that I chose, which was having sex with people that I was supposed to be having sex with.
Well, sex is a drug.
You know, it is all a drug. So whatever, it turned out the way I did. But fucking, I was pretty good at history. That was something that I was always interested in, and I think what it mostly had to do with was the teachers. They had like really cool teachers. Anytime that there was something that was good going on in my life, it wasn't because it was some subject that I was super fascinated with inherently. It was because there was a cool person associated
Exactly.
with it. And I think that that's probably the standard for a lot of people. Like,
I would say.
when they're very young, they say,
getting
I was really...
impressionable.
Yeah, exactly. I was really into this thing or this thing. And then I ask, like, who taught it? And then they just go on and on and on about how great this person was, you know? And I even had that, like, in the agency that kind of started my life, like this fucking badass woman who was like in charge of the fire crew and was on top of her shit all the time and had like a super stellar crew, just really, really impressed me. And that kind of started my life on that path. And I think that that's probably still consistent. Like, I don't know what one of my serious interests, I don't even know what my serious interests are right now. I like doing this.
You're a pretty good dungeon master.
I'm a pretty good... And fucking there it is! So when I was, like, the first time I was doing D&D, man, oh my god, there's this...
Unlocked.
Yeah.
Memory da-na-na-na.
Yeah. Okay, so after I cheated, right? And I lost a whole bunch of friends and a bunch of people were really upset with me. John's parents live right there.
No, I know.
After that, I was like all stuck and I didn't have any homies anymore, and I think like my best buddy John had just like started dating my super recent ex, and so like he would be the only person that still was fucking with me, and even he wasn't fucking with me anymore, so I was alone. And so I think my mom saw that I needed some kind of outlet, something going on, and I found out about an improv class at Space.
Yes.
And so I went there, and that's where I got pretty familiar with some like very, very key people in my life. So like Dragon and Easy.
Yeah.
I met both of them there. I kind of knew them beforehand. And then another buddy too. And we would put on these improv shows, and it was getting pretty big for a little while because people that would never show up to those kind of things, that were like Dragon and Easy and the other guy's friends, people that were in our age group, and then like mutual friends of those people.
Yeah.
It was like a cheap show that you could go see, that was actually pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
We were a pretty good little improv group, and that also had to do with a great teacher who was fucking real good.
Who inspires you to really do it.
Exactly.
JD and I were talking last night about like how to talk to kids about hard topics and things like that. And kind of going over our ride yesterday.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about how when you're a kid and you ask a question, and it's the first time, you're expecting that person to inform you about what reality is. It's the first time you hear about it. And if your teacher just doesn't give a shit, that's what you're going to give. They give it to you. That idea now, the energy behind it is the energy that you've been taught to take it with.
Yeah.
Okay, class, this is the cell.
Yeah.
The mitochondria is
Here's
the
a
powerhouse
packet.
of the cell.
Yeah.
Please don't talk to each other. I
Yeah.
need you to be doing this on your own.
Don't sit next to your friends.
This monotone
Yeah.
fucking person that's they're not inspired from being a teacher.
Yeah.
They don't want to teach fucking middle schoolers about
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln.
I think a lot of middle school teachers don't really want to be there. That's just been my experience with it. I bet there's some fucking.
Well, that's like fifth grade teachers. I worked with one at the pizza place.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking to this. I might get it ranty.
That's it.
She had to work 3 jobs, and I talked to her and I was like, "Hey, Patty, why? Is it really that bad?" She's like, "Well, if I want to have a life, I have to fucking not have a life." Basically, I have stuff. I have to pay for my daughter's college. I have to. I don't get benefits like that. We're not getting paid enough to give anybody anything.
Yeah.
You can live on your own a pretty meager life as an adult teacher. She just worked so hard, and she was such a good teacher, and and you could tell because kids would come in and get pizza, and Patty, hi Patty, good to see you, and she would always give me words of the day. So, okay, Mitch, today's word of the day is. I'd be like, ooh.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it was fun. She was you could tell.
That's so cool.
You could tell she had it.
Oh.
And she fucking died.
Oh.
At 50 something because she had a cold and then went to the doctor, and then got sicker in the hospital from the hospital, and passed away.
I'm gonna pour a little bit out for her.
Patty.
God bless you, Patty.
God bless you, Patty. She fucking but it's so funny because consequently that was right when Jadine. I covered her shift, her last shift. I covered.
Oh God.
I covered it, and Jadine couldn't cover that. She was working at the pizza place.
Oh yeah.
And so I inadvertently covered Jadine, and then a couple days later at the brewing company, talking to her, yeah, you work at the pizza place. Patty, poor Patty, and we were talking about her, and that's where we led to hanging out more often, from talking about Patty's passing.
Wow.
Because that was a connecting factor. That we worked at the pizza place, and that I knew Patty, and but it's not fair that you make these educators who aren't trying to they aren't asking for fucking to be wealthy.
Yeah.
Just let them be able to fucking be comfortable, so they can share that comfort with kids.
So that's all they have to do.
Well, you start resenting children.
Yeah.
You don't want your fucking teachers resenting children.
Because
these fucking kids, I'm so tired of teaching these ungrateful fucking kids. Well, you're not grateful for your job either.
Yes.
You're missing the cycle. Or maybe you can't talk about it because no one wants to hear your woes.
Yeah.
And at the same time, being all the families are being touted. Well, no child's left behind. When they're just when they're lowering the test standards so everyone can pass.
Yeah.
It's madness. It's all a facade. It's all so frustrating.
Artificial.
It's artificial. It's and for me to be able to, I was saying before, take one college class for 6 months and make up 3 years of fucking high school.
Yeah.
It doesn't equate. I'm not 3 years smart.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some hardline evidence that points towards how artificial a lot of it is.
Yeah.
And looking back, the important shit to me, the stuff that actually affected who I ended up becoming, was the friendships that I made, the mistakes that I made. It was all socially based.
Yeah.
And the fact that I had a couple of cool teachers. There was one guy, and oh God. I wish I don't know if I should say his name or not still, but you know where Grace Hudson is? I'm trying to.
Go. You gotta go. Yeah, you're gonna go. Oh, I'm thinking the museum.
Oh no.
Yeah, the school.
We'll find it.
We'll find it.
He was I somehow got into AP US history because the history teacher I had before was this great dude.
And you played Call of Duty a bunch.
And I played a whole bunch of Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed. And so I got a pretty good grade on it. I think I got like an A. And I don't get A's. I sure the fuck do not get A's. God damn it. And so I qualify for Advanced Placement U.S. History. APUSH, Advanced Placement U.S. History. And the teacher there, I feel like I don't know, like, a lot of the AP teachers were kind of the grain that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because, I don't know, maybe they preferred to deal with students that clearly had the work ethic to be able
do it.
to
Well,
succeed in that
they're
environment.
willing to take the responsibility of doing it because they want it.
And I don't blame them. Like, I don't know. I would hate to be a teacher dealing with me. I would have no idea how to it wouldn't make it easy to love my job if I was a teacher to the student that I was.
But that's the whole thing is you wouldn't be doing it's like if you were teaching somebody how to cut, you're not going to be unenthusiastic.
That's true.
You're going to do what you know how to do and you're going to show them the best way you can.
Yeah.
And if somebody fucks off, well, guess what? That's their fault. Their fucking arm is on the ground.
You don't get to learn to cut.
You know, or you go off and try to cut on your own, and the consequences of cutting on your own are fucking not good. When you get a kickback and your saw goes into your fucking calf.
Woo!
You know?
Yeah. Someone else.
Or when you fucking cut somebody that's teaching you.
Yeah.
And you go, fuck, okay, and you realize consequence.
Yep.
School doesn't really have that much consequence.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
That's true.
You're too young to see the detriment of not being educated until way later. Because not being educated, that's the funny thing about not realizing you're missing out on education. You're too dumb to know until it's too late.
Yeah, it's
you're uneducated enough to have a problem.
Yeah, that's funny. If you don't get educated, you don't get smart enough to realize how important it is to be educated. That kind of thing.
Yes. No, and just growing up, well, like, because I graduated in 2009, and so I remember when 9/11 happened, I was like 11 years old, or 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10 years old, and I was at Railroad Valley School, and I remember there being a lot of extracurricular activities. There was bands. There was all the things that one has in school, and then this thing happened in the world, in the States, and all of a sudden things started going away. And I just was in that group of kids. I mean, a lot of our that 10-year gap of children really got to experience the lack of funding and the removal of extracurricular activities, unless it was sports. All of a sudden, art classes were really hard to get materials. Make sure to bring all your own stuff. And the kids that couldn't afford it didn't go to those classes. And it really put it on the student to do things that the school should provide. And all of and then you see less kids doing extracurricular activities that they want to do. And more kids get into drugs. And more kids get left behind. And so, but at the same time, they're toting No Child Left Behind. And I feel as a result of that, you get the kids that are aware, and it hurts. And you get all the goth kids, and the emo kids, and the scene kids, and the
nonconformists.
You get the fucking RAR XDs.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my aunt's boyfriend Juba, who is like a world-renowned, he's like top charts like reggae artist.
Oh wow.
And he's from Jamaica. And I was taught we were hanging weed in the shipping container, as one does, and that just means that we're talking for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I got on the subject of going to school and how many kids were committing suicide and if people you knew, your friends, were fucking ODing and you wake up one morning and, did you hear so-and-so's getting his stomach pumped right now? Ugh. And you go, fuck, no one told me. Yeah. And I almost missed my friend. But luckily he fucking he popped a fucking Xanny or an Oxycontin when the fucking pill pandemic started happening.
Yeah.
Because fucking pills showed up out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And everyone was doing fucking fizzles and dude, it was really hard. Yeah. As a kid who was really trying to be like sober and like aware of his own conscience. Uh-huh. Because of having been schizo and dealing with that and wanting control. Mm-hmm. I was lucky in that because I didn't want to do all these drugs that would have been tempting otherwise. Mm-hmm. And until my friend got fucking almost died and I came to his house and I fucking yelled at him and I was so fucking angry and like, man. You motherfucker, man. You almost killed yourself and like I wasn't there for you and what do you think you're doing? Yeah. And dude, it was just so fucked up and like and then another person died. This girl Whitney Flicker died. Mm-hmm. And I went to fucking grade school with her. I knew her for fucking like 6 or 7 years. Mm-hmm. And went to a party and OD'd. And it's like, fuck, man. Mm-hmm. And I remember talking with that friend about it. When that happened, I go, man, like, there it is. There's your proof that this isn't what's fucking...
Passing, and I heard...
We've been muted.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For how long?
I have no clue.
Oh, dude.
Ah!
Let's stop the recording real quick.
Okay, technical difficulties aside. This is school part 2.
Yeah. We'll
post poop coyote scat.
Yeah, I think that this coyote right here, I feel like I remember the moment where I brushed against the mute button, and I think that that's my fault.
Way to go. The mute button was pushed.
I'm a bad little noodle. We missed like 13 minutes of
of little golden nuggets.
Yeah,
but that's why you hate your friends.
That's just why you hate your friends.
But yeah, where we got cut off, I was just lamenting about losing people to this fucking drug epidemic that hit the United States right when I was fucking, or not necessarily hit the United States, but became prevalent in my life or in the town I lived in, to the point where a child notices. And it's really fucking sad because there was not the tools to navigate dealing with opiates and all that, and then being prescribed to parents, and the parents in turn become potential zombies and can't take care of their kids, and you see all of these fucking kids acting out and trying to get something. And it's funny because you had the emo kids who dress all black, or you had the goth kids who were like black with white makeup. They were like dead. Yeah. Like, we're already gone. You don't get it. We don't exist in your society.
Right.
And because we're left behind.
Yes.
And that's kind of the vibe I always got. And then you have the emo kids who are a little more vocal about it. They're vocally emotional. Uh-huh. And then you have the scene kids, which are extremely bright.
Yeah.
And colorful rainbows.
I felt like that was like, I was like defiantly not conforming to the standard. Yeah. And I'm all like hugs and kisses and Runner XD.
But in reality, still just emotional, but trying to be a peacock about it. Yeah. Getting the color aspect in there, because like, oh, well, why you gotta be in all black? Like, what's wrong going to a funeral? People get tired of that shit. Yeah. And they go, you know what? No, I'm just trying to fucking feel better by doing how I can. Yeah. But those are the kids that are cutting and taking pills and partying and getting left behind. Yeah. It's and all the parents of those kids are usually like taking fucking Xannies or addicted to pain pills, and they're stealing their parents' pain pills and selling them at school.
Oh man, that's so crazy. I think of people exactly like what you're talking about. Yeah. Like these scene or goth or emo kids that had just like fucking rough home lives. Oh yeah. Super, super shitty home lives. And literally taking their painkillers and selling them at school. I knew a few kids that did that.
And the antidepressants, all these drugs that were being pushed on parents to either have for themselves or have for their kids. Yep. Your kid there's a pill for you.
Yeah.
is always kind of the vibe I got.
Mm-hmm.
Is, yeah, we got pills for you.
We can fix you.
Yeah, and like I was saying when we got cut off from a random muting,
Yeah.
doctors get a potential kickback for when they sell drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And that isn't fucking cool.
Yeah.
When I come to you in a vulnerable state, asking for help, and you fucking addict me to a substance.
Yeah.
That is basically street drugs.
Yeah.
Like
In a fancier bottle.
in a cleaner bottle.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't have fucking side effects.
Yeah.
You know, and they talk about, don't smoke weed, you're gonna have side effects. It's like, no, you have me on fucking
Ritalin,
disgusting drugs that
Yeah.
I'm gonna be addicted to and then get cut off of.
Yeah.
And need a stronger drug.
Yep.
To feel better.
Yeah.
It doesn't equate.
Yeah.
You got your chips in the wrong spot. And it's just so, everything is so like ill-advised. And kids are fucking dying because of it.
Yeah.
Because people are getting taken advantage of. It's just not, there's problems. And people don't, at least when we were in it, when it was starting, we didn't have the tools to navigate all these kids fucking high on antidepressants.
Yeah.
And like my roommate that we are both friends, my old roommate that we were both friends with.
Yes.
When he moved in with me, he stopped taking had just stopped taking his antidepressants.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I feel like I finally can see things. I feel like I'm finally on the same fucking playing field.
That's true.
And it's like coming out of it and journaling and looking back at where your brain was.
Yeah.
And finally being able to be okay.
Yeah, deciding that, like, I am going to feel now because maybe feeling is what I should be doing.
Yeah, like, you teach a kid at that age that feeling is too overwhelming, take a pill, when he might not need to, when he's just fucking a stressed out teenager because you're trying to fit this mold of, I gotta get up at fucking early, and I'm a night person, and I just can't handle the social pressure or whatever. That's a counselor's job. That's something where if there's an active person in your life, 9 times out of 10, that person can help you and talk to you and be there for you and pick up the slack where you don't have the tools. You're a child.
Yeah.
And it's really disheartening that a lot of parents, the more unfit parents, just turn to, okay, shut up, kid, have this. This is what I'm being told. I don't have the tools to be a parent. Then this is what they say. The doctor's saying, I'm not a professional. I don't know.
Yeah.
And you inadvertently addict your child to a substance. Like my uncle was addicted to was on Ritalin. His whole lithium and Ritalin, all these things back in the 80s and early 90s. And he's a fucking shit show. And needed that high forever.
Yeah.
And they don't, there's no blame on the doctor for fucking getting this kid addicted. It's really, dude, it's such a weird time, this chemical soup you're already in.
Yeah. And then to throw more chemicals into the
more,
fire.
and that will potentially stunt your chemicals that you have.
And then how many of those are just being taken for the party too?
Yeah.
Like, there's the prescription drugs that I think a lot of times kids don't even realize can be seriously negatively affected by, or seriously negatively affect the drugs that you're taking for the party, right? And this is, I don't know what the culture is for high school and like pills now, but I know that it was like pretty big when I was in high school.
Dude, it was huge.
And I would not be surprised to hear that's still very much the case, but like taking like a regular dose of Ritalin and then maybe you take a fucking Molly at a party to like try to come up around. Yeah, and I could only imagine what that's doing to your brain chemistry, and I don't fucking know anything, obviously, but I feel like it's a U plus drugs, right?
Yeah, definitely. Big Mouth does that really well. They illustrate that very well.
Oh yeah.
Jay's selling his Ritalin or his his
Adderall?
ADHD drugs. Yeah, Adderall.
Yeah.
And everybody has a crazy different response. And they'd show that the pill drill sergeant in the brain, overclocking some kids and making some kids twacky and making some kids depressed or whatever.
Yeah.
Fixate.
Yeah.
But it works perfect for him because it was actually prescribed by a doctor.
For him.
Yeah, it's for his chemistry.
And that's a good point too. Like God, I wish I knew more stuff. But there's a place for these drugs, you know.
There is.
That's a double-edged sword. Like there is a place for these drugs. There's a place for these drugs, but also there's a place for these drugs.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
and the place is not in the hands of a 13-year-old drug dealer.
Yeah.
That we all knew.
Yes.
That we all knew.
Yes.
It wasn't a mystery.
Yeah.
Dude,
I definitely fucking knew like little kids that were like trying to sell their drugs. They were being prescribed, try to get some money.
Some baller kids.
Yeah. Like
how come you have this PlayStation and all these games?
Yeah. Largely
right
like
now.
16 and 17-year-olds.
It wasn't for my paper route.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. I'm not getting an allowance here, Jack.
Yeah. But dude, that's the other thing, is I know people that I'm really close to that had to fucking sell drugs to take care of their families.
Yeah.
And become the adult and put themselves in a bad place to take up the reins where bad parenting came in.
Yeah, I know a couple of people like that.
Dude, isn't that crazy? That shouldn't be any child's life.
That's the beauty of agency though, and that's also kind of the beauty of you plus drugs. That, like that can be you. That can the you aspect of that equation can be somebody that's responsible enough that takes on the responsibility for the entire family, but that should never be.
Yeah.
No one should ever find themselves in that position, especially as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
Or no kid should find themselves in the position of taking responsibility for the whole fucking family. And when you're that young, you don't have any fucking tools. You don't know how to...
Yeah, like, you don't know what to do with it.
I can make some money right here. Let me pawn off these drugs that I've been prescribed.
Well, you don't get the consequences are huge.
Yeah.
You know, you might get expelled. You might get put in juvie. You're going to have it on your record that you were selling drugs.
Mm-hmm. As a kid.
It's
going to be hard to fucking shake that. It's funny, a lot of the jobs that don't require, like, you can get away with, like, relevant experience instead of a degree, right? They also, a lot of the time, require background checks.
Pull way back there so I can pee.
Okay.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. And so, like, fuck, if you're a kid that experienced so much disenfranchisement and could not mesh well with the system and thusly didn't get a degree, it's going to be hard for you to get a real good job with any kind of benefit or retirement plan because they do a background check.
Boom, boom, boom. Sorry you made a mistake when you were fucking 13,
when you were 13
15,
years old.
17.
Yeah.
Fuck, even 18. You're making stupid decisions.
Yeah. It's funny how well this relates back to the very first Nitro Ride that we had, when we talked about basically like being young. We talked about sexuality a little bit, and we talked about schooling and potential solutions trying to work around this shit. Like either starting school late or having weird gap years between underclassmen or upperclassmen or whatever. But I think that a lot of stuff hits all at once as soon as you turn 18. And since the school system is predicated on, high school is predicated on preparing young people for college rather than preparing them for adult life, they are just completely overwhelmed when that age of 18 hits.
Yeah.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and unless they go to college, and then, I mean, like, if you are fortunate enough and smart enough to be able to pull that off, that could be really fucking good for you.
It can be, but if you don't have the direction, you still don't have the direction.
That's true. Yeah, some kids can even get great grades and end up going to college and have no fucking clue what they want to do. Well, I mean, Easy is a great example of that. He spent all of this money and got a degree in a certain field, and he's beginning to realize that he's considering going back to school and getting an entirely separate degree in something else, because now he's really he's discovered a passion, and he discovered it late, you know?
Yep. Well, that's why I'm very happy I didn't go to school. Because the reason I was stressed out in school was because I was forced to go to school.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be. And I needed time to breathe because people are asking me, what are you going to be when you grow up? And it just would make me feel worse because I didn't know right on the spot, and all these other kids
all
knew.
the other kids knew.
I had no idea of what I wanted to do because I was just getting my shit back together.
Yeah.
I was putting my reality back together.
What's funny is, like, a lot of the kids probably really don't know. You know? Like,
no, they don't.
We're always thinking, like, fuck, everyone knows what they're doing and what they want to do except for me, but
very rarely.
Yeah, the reality of it is there's probably, like, 1 out of 10 kids that actually was fortunate enough to discover what they like at an age that young.
Yep.
You know? I never, ever thought I was going to be a firefighter.
Yeah.
I fell into it, and I dig it. I like the parts of the work. I'm navigating that a little bit right now.
Very what it is. Yeah.
But I like falling trees a lot. You a fucking tree falling class in high school? Absolutely not, you know? And so there's not only does it poorly prepare you for, like, regular life, but your passion might not even have a major or, it might not even have a class in college that's taught.
Well, and that's like what we're talking about with, like, becoming a journeyman in a plumber or electrician. They don't have that class.
No, they don't.
Well, they don't even have home ec half the time.
Yeah.
Kids don't even know how to fucking cook food.
Or sex ed.
Yeah, well, sex ed is something you could get out of if you want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, huh.
You know, they put that responsibility on the child to bring the note to your parents. Mm-hmm. And if you don't want to bring it to them, you don't have to.
Yeah.
And if they don't want you to learn, you don't.
Yeah.
And then you got to go sit in the library for a week while everybody else gets forbidden knowledge.
Yeah, it gets access to the restricted section.
Yeah.
And it's just, it all comes back to this fucking funding of the education system. Like,
yep.
If they just made a little bit more money, because I don't know, like, I mean, people that are incredibly smart and compassionate really want to mold, you know, minds in an important and like, I don't know about groundbreaking, but in a healthy way can be totally.
It's feasible. It's totally possible. Like, you can totally do it.
But I think that they could the like salary versus, like, expectations and requirements
is way too high.
Is the shit ratio.
It's okay.
And I'm like I'm becoming a relatively compassionate person, you know, and I look forward to the opportunity to teach young people this technical skill that I have, right? I look forward to that all the time. But I also know that if the money was like $40,000 a year, I wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah, because you can't. You got to survive.
You can't. Yeah, it's just not fucking possible. And
how do you even get to work? You know, like you're gonna do one of the hardest jobs. Yeah. Control children.
Yeah. Yes. It is the hardest fucking job.
Fucking so difficult.
And I can't blame teachers that teach for fucking 10 years and suddenly they disdain kids, because how many like golden kids have they actually met? You know?
Yeah.
Like how many kids that are
prepared to learn.
Prepared to learn. Yes. How many kids that can get along in this system and actually learn and have, like, some kind of good teacher-student relationship do they actually meet? And how many of the rest of them are like me? They just, like, never show up to class. Definitely feels like to the teacher they don't give any kind of shit to what the teacher is teaching. When in reality, I really liked history. I dug that shit. But I didn't fucking show up because it compounds. It has, like, velocity. You don't show up a couple of days and suddenly it becomes much more convenient for you to continue to not show up. I remember feeling that. Like, oh, well, I can just miss this day, like the day that the projects due, or whatever.
If I just miss it, I don't have to deal with it.
Exactly. And
when I was
so pointless.
When I was ditching, I definitely was just like, no, you've made a mockery of the one class I like because you couldn't get funding enough to get a good art teacher that's actually going to teach me something, to teach these other kids something.
A bunch of, like, resentment.
I only can draw my shoes so many times before I'm bored.
Yes.
You've bored me, and that's not what art is about.
Yeah, art is not supposed to be boring.
Art isn't supposed to be boring, and I've taken art before, but that doesn't mean that I should be bored. Like, at least let me just draw, and then to chastise what I'm drawing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I'm trying to get this darkness out through art, and they look at these kind of weird drawings, and they make me feel bad about them. And that was really fucking hurtful.
That's rough.
Because you don't get me, because you're not supposed to talk about your bad, like, because she was a Christian lady, but you're not supposed to bring that up in fucking school. And she would always do it anyway. And it's like, oh, this is kind of not kosher.
Yeah, I hear you. I think also, like, a lot of teachers that kind of fall into the work, maybe, or just a lot of teachers, period, don't even realize the impact that they can have on kids. Like, there are some words that a teacher has said to me that have sat with me my entire life. Like, I had a teacher, an English teacher, that I really wanted to TA for, because although I was probably a fucking just like an unbearable student for him, I liked him and I liked how he taught, and he was also really cool. He like rode a skateboard around all the time. But I felt like I could get something going here, you know? I feel like I could start something. I could actually win. And I remember showing up and asking if I could be a TA for him, and he laughed at me. And he said, no, I don't think so. Your reputation precedes you. And I want to go back and be like, hey man, look, I know you probably don't realize how impactful this was, but I want you to know, like, moving forward, I don't think you should say something like that to a kid.
Yeah.
Because I get that kind of...
You should give him a chance and show him that if he applied himself...
Or at least, like, give me more than that. Don't laugh at me and tell me my reputation precedes me. Like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm going to go home and ruminate on that over the next few days and just continue to hate myself. And...
Yeah, a little more would be nice.
A little more would have been really nice there.
But I get why he only said what he did. It's kind of meant for you to go home and think about it. Because maybe you should feel bad. Because you're shirking responsibility. And if you would have been responsible, you would have been able to be the TA for that guy.
That's true, but why didn't he say that?
Because sometimes it's better to make someone ponder something than to give them the exact
But
answer.
How does he know that I'm going to ponder it? You know, like, how does he know that I have the wherewithal to do that? If he really wanted to get some message across to me, why
he
would
could have given you more information.
That's how I feel anyway.
No, and I get that. I guess it's your reputation precedes you. You're not gonna give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
He's like, oh well, I would, but you know.
Yeah.
But you know, we both know you're ditching class all the time.
See, if he said that, you know, like I get.
No, I guess you're trying to give kids more of a figure it out on your own and not give you an answer.
And maybe I could manipulate my view of how he said that and turn it into like him giving me more agency than not.
Yeah.
You know, because he's assuming that I know what that means and that I'm going to be able to take something away from it. But I think that I wasn't able to do that. I think he was
that it hurt more than it helped.
Yeah, it just hurt, and it didn't make me think about anything. It just made me feel like I was shitty. It didn't make me think about, what can I do changing? Because I didn't have those tools, and I think a lot of kids don't have those tools. A lot of kids don't like sit and work on themselves, especially at the ages of like 15 and 16. You know?
Yeah, and as an adult, for him to say that instead of going, well, you know, your reputation precedes you. Why, you know, if you're going to be my TA, why aren't you in school? Mm-hmm. I need to, you know, like dig a little. It's like, hey, why is it you do these things that you do? Instead of that, it's this vague, figure it out kid. Mm-hmm. And that does kind of suck because, like, here's an opportunity for him to make you think about the right aspect of it instead of just making you feel bad for not showing up on time or showing up at all. Yeah. You're like, well, do you know why I don't show up? Because I'm dealing with some shit.
Yeah.
Maybe ask me.
Yeah.
You know, that I find that a lot of adults don't ask kids, or you know, even if they are asked, they're already too afraid to be honest in the first place.
Yeah.
So you don't want to get in trouble. It really depends on your background and what consequences are to you and for you.
Yeah. Oh man, I really did not have it figured out for so long.
Oh man, I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, for real.
To think a fucking middle schooler or a high schooler knows, you know, or has the tools, because and increasingly less kids have the tools. I'm finding.
Really?
Yeah. Well, besides the internet, I mean,
like more
where I'd be without the internet, and like
God.
where a lot of people I know would be without like that
Yeah.
access to information that their parents aren't going to give them.
I would be seriously undereducated if I didn't have access to like YouTube videos.
Oh, dude,
'Cause
so much information.
So much shit that I've been working with and going through has been just from watching YouTube videos. Like whether it's about like the porn stuff that we talked about yesterday, or from that end of the spectrum, which is like very cultural and social to a degree, and also very like introspective. It's not like the rationale side of the brain working there so much, I think. And from that to like the mechanisms of the universe, and like learning about fucking the Big Crunch theory and watching documentaries on Albert Einstein or whatever the fuck.
Learning that the Earth is actually flat.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's good.
And kids just don't pick that up.
Kids are all like, this is a round circle thing.
We're
And
like,
I don't,
yeah, okay, fucking idiot.
Sure,
sure, idiot.
And that big old LED moon.
Yeah. No, the moon is made of metal, man.
Of course.
The moon's not real. The moon's a hole in the bed sheet.
No, but it's I don't know if we're gonna figure out the right way to get it done. You know, like I just there's obvious sicknesses that we need to be dealing with that a lot of people don't deal with, and it affects kids. And it's not their fault. You know, kids don't deserve the level that they're getting. At least that's what I felt when I just felt like there was so many things that were out of my control that teachers were dealing with. Like, it just sucks to be a teacher in this time.
Yeah, it does.
You feel like you're under attack.
And plus, here's something. So, there's the role of the like adoptive father, right? The adoptive parent, like somebody that, in usual fashion, young person elects as this mentor figure, as a teacher, right? And it's a very important role because your biological parent provides all this good shit for you, right? Like they nurture you and love you, and they teach you some lessons, but primarily they love you. And that's something that you're not going to get, especially ideally the unconditional love that a parent has for a child.
Totally.
And then there's the adoptive like father in my case, but I'm sure that people have adoptive mothers or whatever.
Yeah, just a role model that picks you up and teaches you some shit.
Yeah. For me not getting lost, I'm going to keep using the phrase adoptive father because I'm going to get fucking fucked up otherwise. But there's the role of the adoptive father. And for me, that was this woman that worked at that agency that I was working at. And that role, it's very important because there's this like mutual, it's symbiotic, right? Like the mentor extracts like a little bit of wisdom, but also like regains some youth and passion.
Well, in teaching somebody something and for their first time,
yes,
they get to put that, they're basically looking at themselves and how they do something because they're teaching it to somebody.
Exactly.
You become more masterful because you're analyzing yourself through somebody else.
Yes, and yeah, exactly. You do become more masterful in the process of teaching, and then there's like the obvious wins that the student is getting in return, right?
Yeah.
Like knowledge and wisdom, and also they have a role model for a bunch of different behaviors, ideally. And I think that's an important relationship, and ideally everybody gets there. Everybody has some kind of mentor in whatever field, whether we're trying to discover like emotional intelligence or a technical skill, and a skill that's important to you, Mine was running saw and falling trees. But like art is a great example for you. That art teacher that you had while you were in high school.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case may be. If you're listening, you probably know what that field is for you, and hopefully you also that character comes to mind. But what's scary, and I this might be changing a little bit, but the very common place for that is in college, right? Like you get a professor that you're really, really positively impacted by, and that person kind of assumes the role of the adoptive parent because they're able to have a like more quote-unquote intimate relationship with the student, because as a high school teacher there's no fraternization whatsoever, but a professor can like get a beer with students on the weekends.
Definitely.
You know, like they can have people come over. I know that there's like weird like study groups or whatever.
So socials.
Yeah, there's social. Yeah, that's the word, socials. And on top of that, if you're going to college, ideally you've kind of figured out what you want to do.
Yeah, you're in your lane and you're asking professionals.
Exactly.
Or credible people.
Yes, and so there's the immediate like pull to them because they are good at a thing you want to be good at.
Until you're having sex with your professor.
And there's the fucking poor like manipulation of that. Like, and that happens to a lot of people, and that's an important part of fucking adoptive parent role is that you can't taint that. Like,
yeah.
And some people do, and if you do, you're a little bit evil, man.
No, you're pretty evil because you're
evil.
taking advantage of somebody revering you.
Yes.
And looking to you for guidance,
Yeah.
and then they put you in a bracket, and you take advantage of that.
Yes, and don't misinterpret like their adoration for you, even if they're misinterpreting their adoration.
Yeah,
for you.
you it's your responsibility to shepherd them
Yes.
through,
Yes.
and not take advantage of them.
Exactly. Yeah, and I know people that have been slotted into this mentorship position that have really taken advantage of it, and fuck you, man.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's
you,
not
man.
cool.
That's not cool. But the most common place for this relationship to be fostered is in college, right? And what was scary for a while, I'm not sure how pertinent this is now, mainly because of COVID and threw a whole bunch of shit off track. But what was happening for a long time was that the power was being removed from the professors and put into the hands of the students. And I think that an important part of that relationship is for the wise educator to have like the majority of the power, because what happens is the educator, the mentor, the adoptive parent can become afraid.
Yeah.
And then suddenly what's being taught is manipulated. Like I know that for a while, like students would protest professors or get them like fired or their tenure removed because they were teaching something that the students didn't agree with.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like very political, very politically divisive.
Yeah.
And it was like, I can't fucking think of an example
It's like
right
just
now.
deplatforming somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Because this person's like, what fucking, where does this go?
So you can there's a turnaround.
Okay.
I haven't been down here in a long time. This is an interesting drive for me.
Yeah, I definitely don't come around here very much.
This is my ex lived down here.
Oh, really? Ooh.
Big fancy ass house.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, there's some nice ass houses down here.
Bourgeoisie.
They have fucking gardeners and everything.
The bourgeoisie.
Oh.
But yeah, I hope that that's not still going on. I hope that.
Well, I mean, it definitely. I think it is and always has gone on. It's just something that you got to figure out that is it really worth it to ruin this person's career?
Yeah, it's like cancel culture is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about, and how that was affecting like professors and I knew this. I had this like one hard line example for a while wherein like a professor was straight up silenced by the student body, and it was all about the politics. It's all about like what this professor believed that was not even relevant to the topic that they were teaching at all, you know, and that's been the trend for a little bit. And
Yep. But she still lives here.
does she?
Right here. That's so funny. That's her. She has the same car as Charlie.
That's a real nice house too.
It is. And that house, man. That's so funny.
I don't know. I have weird like resentment towards people that are really weird, like well off. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Well, trust me, she's got her own things she has to deal with within this gilded paradise. She too was one of those emo chicks.
Oh yeah, everybody's working with their shit,
dude. You can't judge.
You can't. Yeah.
You can misplace that, but what is that? Why are you doing that? It's because you didn't have, because you grew up in a truck.
Yeah, it's just like,
you know, it's not their fault that that's where you came from.
And I get all upset 'cause it's like, what do you really have to complain about, motherfucker? Look, I didn't know where my food was gonna be sometimes. And bullshit like that. When in reality, you're just the cap for your impatience is just different per person. Like everybody gets hurt, whether it's because
everybody has a worse day.
Everybody has a worse day, yeah, and it's silly of me to try to compare them rather than just admit that they're different.
It'll never be the same.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, were you ever? I mean, there's worse than you, and there's better than you.
It's true, and like even regardless of the size of the silver spoon, you know, regardless of the carat of the silver spoon, like there are kids that grow up in mansions and are fucking beat every day. You know?
Yeah, or never see their parents and wonder where their affection's going to come from, and then have to find affection in substances.
Yeah.
And be alone and lost and
and have nobody to turn to.
Yep.
Or to tell them that this substance abuse or their own abuse of themselves is not good for them.
Or they never have anybody to they don't have anybody to show them that they're abusing themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just so crazy, man. It's really hard that all of that happens at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, school and family and friends and learning and there's gonna be sex, everything. There's a lot of shit going on, and I think that you remember your childhood just because there's a lot of shit going on all at once.
It's very tumultuous. It's like rough. There's so much shit. It's so heavy.
It is, and you'll if you don't know any better, you think it's all your fault.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a kid, it's really not. I mean, you're just subject to so many things, and if you don't have the tools. I mean, it's your fault that you're doing whatever you're doing with them, like you're doing it, but if you're uneducated, and the resentment towards becoming educated, and not wanting to go, it's like the school is becoming a place that kids would just rather not be, and I don't think that's, you know, and especially more as like the internet grows and becomes this hub of knowledge.
Yeah.
You go, well, I can just learn this on my own. Fuck you.
Pretty much, yeah. And a lot of the times it can be even faster because there's so many different videos on whatever subject. You can find the one that like caters to your
until the earth is flat. And you go, well, fuck you. I don't need this stupid teacher. This teacher's stupid. Doesn't know what he's talking about.
I've already seen tons of videos about how flat the earth is.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the importance of the educator, you know, to be like, hey, by the way, you're going to see a lot of crazy shit on the internet that totally isn't true.
Yeah.
You know?
School's weird, man.
Yeah. But it also, like, the aspect of being surrounded by your peers is very, very important. And and you can't get that online, you know?
You see what happens when you get it online. You get very toxic.
Oh, yeah. Groups of people, little organizations that are just their own worst echo chamber.
Just raw nerves.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll just fucking, like... agree with each other, and then you got like a bunch of people that hate women or
get a bunch of incels.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good to have that like diverse mix of people around you. And while some people can view like cliques as very toxic and very exclusive, like it also grants people like-minded individuals to kind of fall into. And if you don't have that good parenting or you're not very good at school or whatever.
You can find a support group.
You can find a support group, exactly. And
the double-edged sword.
On top of that, like you're gonna be sitting next to somebody that doesn't agree with you at some point if you keep showing up.
Well, yeah.
So.
Well, and that's good.
Yeah, it is.
You don't want everybody to agree with you.
For sure.
You need to be challenged.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you have to be challenged.
Definitely. all the best stuff that came out of school for me was
Yeah.
being exposed to my peers, and like a couple of conversations that I had with some good teachers along the way.
Definitely.
It wasn't
Some
anything,
guiding adults.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't any like class that I attended. It wasn't really anything that I learned from a test or from homework,
Yeah.
to be honest. But instead, it was the environment. It was like all.
Well, it's funny to see what picks up the slack.
Yeah.
In when someone sees that you're having a hard time, or
Yeah.
or that adoptive father, mother, or whatever goes, you know what? Hey, like, I see you. Don't worry. Like, look at it this way.
Yeah.
Just look at it this way.
Yeah.
Things will get better.
Yeah.
Like, things will get better.
Mm-hmm.
This is just temporary. Like, or whatever. Or like, hey, if you just try a little harder, I know it doesn't make sense, and you feel like you're running on a treadmill.
Yeah.
But if you just try, it'll be better.
Mm-hmm.
And then it is. Or you go, hey, you're full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good that they can challenge your angst. Because naturally you want to push against as a kid.
Yeah. All the time, rebel.
And when someone pushes back at you and goes, no, you fucker, look.
Yeah.
You go, oh, wow, okay, yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you, teacher.
Yeah. And
Thank you, sensei.
need that sometimes. Need the pushback to the pushback.
Well, that's like, you want to be able to respect your fucking... Respect is when it's earned like that, and when someone pushes back on you and you go, oh, you know what? I'm not hot shit.
Yeah.
I do respect you.
Yeah, take the
Like,
ass off the chest a little
Thank
bit.
you,
Yeah.
like, for humbling me.
Yes.
It's good to be humbled,
It
and
is.
it takes a master to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you've only ever been you know? It's,
Yep.
it's natural, especially when we're young, to kind of assume that we're the main character of the story a little bit, that we're more intelligent than anybody else that's in this arena, because we don't fucking know what they're thinking, you
Yeah.
know? And surely it can't be as complex as the thoughts that are running around in our head, because that's just incomprehensible, especially
Yeah.
when we're young.
You don't know shit.
You don't know shit. Everybody thinks nobody knows shit.
Yeah.
when they're 15.
Well, it's easier that way. It's a protection.
Yeah, it is. It's, I mean, like, oh, well, what does that guy actually really know?
Yep.
He has a dissenting opinion, but he's not even the main character. What the fuck does he know?
Yeah, I'm the main character.
I'm the main character.
Ugh,
Oh, boy. I wake up early one, huh?
I know.
Be different. I have a whole fucking day. ahead of
I
me.
know. I'm all caffeinated and nauseous.
Are you nauseous?
A little bit. I think it's that sandwich more or less than the
Really?
drink. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I just kind of want to lay down and let my tummy be better.
Okay.
But
Well, then you want me to... I'll come over later.
yeah, we'll
do our thing.
We'll do something later.
Okay. Hey, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We had technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And
We'll fix it.
we're gonna fix it because
Yeah.
you guys are worth it. It's not. This isn't about us.
Because you're worth it.
Because you're worth it. Go to fucking school. Long story short, school is the only way.